Ripartiamo
Let's
ora
start now with the reassembly of the
il
engine.
riassemblamento del motore.
Lightly
Lubrifichiamo
lubricate the bearings.
leggermente I cuscinetti.
Then insert the crankshaft on the right side of the
lato
crankcase.
destro del carter.
After that, we are going to put a red silicon sealing compound on the other half of the crankcase.
Sull'altro semicarter.
Once the compound has been evenly distributed, lightly clean the inside part of the crankcase
l'interno del carter.
and finally we are going to reseal and close the crankcase. At this point, the 6 45mm screws can be inserted.
Le viti, le 6x45. Infine,
finally, we are going to check the screws with the tightening torque at 12 Newton meters. Now, we reinsert the starter from which we temporarily will pull out the Bendix gear drive and the 3 bushings.
Inseriamo le 3 boccole.
Here we have 2 60mm screws, one on the top and one on the bottom, and the 40mm in the middle. We always finish with a dynamometer and we insert the 4 6x30 screws in the starter support.
E infine mettiamo le 4 viti 6x30 del supporto del motore in movimento.
Now we continue by reinserting the Bendix drive. After that, the clutch rotor key and the disc spring.
La molla tazza, sempre con la parte
always with the concave part towards the crankshaft. utilizing the wrench to aid us. Finally, we reassemble the Bendix drive cover with the 2.5mm screws. Let's now continue with the inner washer, with the smooth side toward the crankshaft. The clutch cage needs to be lightly lubricated with some grease. Then the bell housing, the outer washer, and the nut. Checking that there is some self-adjustment on the bell and that everything is turning freely. After this step, reinstall the ignition rotor with its key. Let's proceed with the ignition stator. Continue with the piston assembly. Clean the cylinder base from the excess red silicone compound. After which, lubricate the inside bearings, the connecting rods, and the cage. Insert the piston rod. With small specialized pliers, slip the ring, sliding it inside the groove and checking that the rod and the rings are in their proper position. Finally, the gasket. Lightly lubricate the piston with some oil. Lubricate the inside of the cylinder wall liner. We are going to finish this stage by sliding the piston inside the cylinder. Turn the crank 2 or 3 times to ensure the piston easily glides inside the cylinder. We are then going to assemble the head, making sure it is in the correct position. Take the 4 spacers and the 4 nuts. Place them in its proper position and tighten it with a 13mm tubular wrench or spanner. Finally, we are going to conclude with the tightening using a torque wrench set at 16 Newton meters. Now let's check the squish band. Place the piston at the top dead center. That's the ATDC. Moving it slightly back and insert the tin, executing a full turn so that the piston compresses the tin onto the cylinder head. Once this has been completed, you are now at the last operation, the clutch crankcase with the 3 5mm screws. And with this, our Mini Rok is finished.